Hello, Spinnaker Summit. My name is Chris Thielen from Netflix, and I'm one of the co-leads of the UI SIG. My other co-lead, Noah Olinsky from Armory, recently stepped up as a SIG lead, so much thanks to Noah. Let's talk a bit about the purpose of the UI SIG. We noted 4 different purposes. One is a community forum for discussing UI and UX in Spinnaker. 2 is to demo upcoming features or customizations to the the Spinnaker UI deck. 3 is to provide guidance and feedback for people building on top of the deck UI. And 4 is simply to do issue triage for strictly UI-based issues. So one of the main purposes of the UI SIG is to provide a community forum to discuss the Spinnaker UI and the UX therein. This could be community feedback on recent UI changes. It could be a proposal to make a change to Spinnaker UI, or discussions about the design and implementation of deck. Here's an example of a SIG discussion that turned into a deck PR earlier this year. This PR adds breadcrumbs to the pipelines view, showing upstream parent executions that invoked downstream execution. The UI SIG often has demos of upcoming Spinnaker UI features. We invite the community to see what is planned and to provide us with feedback and discussion. Here's a sampling of some features that were demoed at the UI SIG and later became actual feature of Spinnaker or is in process. Managed delivery is a great example. The fantastic vertical nav that changes the layout of Spinnaker, I think as of 1.20, 1.19 perhaps. And the CI view, which is in process of coming to open source. And of course, we're also happy to provide guidance and feedback around UI implementations. We had a fantastic discussion on a proposal to add AWS Spot Pricing to the AWS cloud provider. This is a pretty major enhancement to the instance type selector for AWS. Any and all UI UX questions are welcome. We generally have the time at the end of our session for ad hoc discussions. In addition to demos of upcoming core Spinnaker features, we also act as a showcase for community UI customizations. Various companies are doing really interesting things to extend the Spinnaker UI inside their companies, and this is a great place to show off that work. We're excited that the community is extending Spinnaker, so please drop by and demo your work if you have it. As an example, Airbnb demoed their Snapshots UI, which is an entirely new tab in Spinnaker UI that tells them which snapshots are currently deployed in each environment and which pipelines deployed them. And of course, we're always happy to provide feedback on these internal customizations also. Finally, we do basic issue triaging in the UI SIG. This means making sure that tickets are noticed, are labeled correctly, and are put into the appropriate buckets. Looking forward, here are some of the things on the UI SIG's radar. The upcoming facelift for drawers and navigation. This facelift is made possible by the recent vertical nav changes that were previously mentioned. We are identifying a set of components to publish in the Spinnaker component library for plugins and other customizations. As a customizer, deciding which components to use or deciding to write your own components can be a challenging choice when enhancing the UI. We hope this library will act as a clear indicator of which UI components are modern, supported, and should be used to compose a new UI in Spinnaker. To document this, we plan to use Storybook. We have a modest start at documenting the Spinnaker forms system at this point. In addition, we're tracking the continued payment down of technical debt in the Deck UI and modernization of Deck. There's a long tail of Angular to React migration. We continue to make progress migrating our UI code from AngularJS to React. However, it's a long process, and we hope to whittle eventually Spinnaker core down to pure React with a sprinkling of adapters for some AngularJS implementations. If you'd like to learn more about tech debt and our plans to pay it down, there's a document called Deck as a Platform, which is shared with the community. This document tracks a long list of tech debt in Spinnaker UI and the possible plans for paying that tech debt off. If you'd like to have access to this doc, just hop over to the UI SIG channel in the Spinnaker OSS Slack. So please join us. The UI SIG meets monthly on the first Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific time. Bye.